Hello, thanks for joining me today for a little bit of yoga. We're going to stretch out the body and we're going to come through a Chandra Namaskar, a simple moon salutation, as it's around the time of the full moon. So if you'd like to join me, come stand on your mat and have your feet hip distance apart. So that is basically our big toes are under our hips, and you'll be able to feel these pointy bits in your hips at the front here on the pelvis, and we want our big toes roughly underneath our hips, just there. We're going to roll our shoulders up, back and down, and we're going to bring our hands to our belly. And if you'd like to, you can close down the eyes. And we're going to bring our concentration, our focus, and our awareness to our breath. Remembering in yoga, we try to breathe in and out through our nose. And take a moment as you're standing there to feel the length in your back, standing tall with a strong, beautiful posture. Noticing the feet in contact with the ground. And starting to breathe into the belly. So with the hands on the belly, breathing in through the nose, expanding the belly, and allowing the hands to shrink back as you breathe out. Following the breath in and out. And if your mind wanders, that's fine, that's normal. Just bringing your thoughts back to the breath. So with the hands on the belly and with the eyes gently closed, we're able to really focus on the breath a little bit easier. We can feel the breath through our belly rising and falling. And with our eyes closed, we're less likely to become distracted by anything we see around us. Taking 3 more breaths here, making them lovely, long, smooth breaths. And then gently opening the eyes and bringing the hands back down to the sides of the body. So we want to keep that lovely, long, gentle, focused breath as we go through our yoga practice. Yoga is very much about the breath and working with movement. So we're trying to still our minds, stop our brains for thinking too much, allow them to have a little bit of a rest. And to do that, we need to stretch out our body and make sure we're breathing with the body as well. So we're going to come through 2 simple salutations, one on each side. And this is a Chandra Namaskar, or a version of it, a moon salutation. So often you might have done a sun salutation with me or another yoga teacher before, and that creates heat and warmth in the body, which is lovely. A Chandra moon salutation is a little bit quieter, a little bit calmer, a little bit more grounding. It's cooler. So let's come to the start of our mountain pose. Make sure you've got enough space to step back, making sure the toes and the feet are parallel. There's a little bit of a gap between the feet. You may remember we can measure the distance between our feet with our fists together and standing tall. We're going to breathe in, reaching up through our fingertips, and we're breathing out with folding forwards, leading with the heart. So we're going to stay in Uttanasana for a few breaths here. So just take a moment, make sure the knees are soft. If your hamstrings are really tight, bend into the knees a little bit more. Allow your head to hang. Gently shake your head no, nod it yes. So that means the neck is relaxed. And if your hands don't quite reach the floor, you can hold opposite elbows. And you're looking between your legs. On the next breath in, we're going to bring our hands to our shins, our shoulders away from ears. We're coming into a flat back position. So we're looking at the floor. Maybe you can imagine you've got a tray of drinks on your back. And then as we breathe out, we're floating forwards again, coming back into our Uttanasana, our forward fold. From here, bending into the knees a little bit more, we're going to step our right foot back. And when you do that, you're going to be on the toes. Have softness in the knee there as well. And make sure you've got the knee above the ankle on the left foot. We're going to breathe in to come up, push through the feet. So this becomes a bit of a balance. So if you get really wobbly, you know you can drop the knee, or you can bring the foot in a little bit as well. So the wider your stance, the more challenging it will be. From here, we have the hands on the hips. Feel those hip bones, just check they are level. We're going to breathe in and reach up. Keeping the neck in line with the spine. I'm keeping the gaze forwards today as well. There's a little bit of a back bend there. And you want to reach through the right heel. So straightening that back leg a little bit more if you can. From here, we're going to fold forwards. We're going to place our right hand, fingertips, hands, fists, whatever you can reach, parallel to the left foot. And then we're going to reach up to the sky with the left hand. So the palm is facing away from me, so it's a lovely twist. If this is too strong, you can drop the knee. So remember to work with your body today. So there's some days when I'll practice this with the knee down, sometimes with a straighter leg. It just depends on how you're feeling and what your body needs. And that's different every day. Slowly bringing that left hand down. We're going to step back into a very gentle plank. So we're coming onto the knees. So we'll do plank on the knees. The hands are spread, middle fingers are spread. Sorry, middle fingers pointing forwards. Lovely spread of the fingers, a really strong base there. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and the inner elbows are pointing in towards each other. From here, we're coming all the way down to the floor. We're going to come into Sphinx Pose. So the elbows are under the shoulders and the hands are extending out from the elbows. Hands are spread, middle fingers pointing forwards. From here, draw the shoulders away from the ears and we're gazing forwards. It's a lovely proud chest. You've got all that beautiful space for the lungs to expand. And then on the next exhalation, as you breathe out, we're coming back down. Bring the hands further back towards the chest. We're going to tuck the toes and come into our first downward dog. So wherever you're coming to with this, keeping a bend in the knees. So the fingers are spread, hands are about shoulder distance apart. The feet are about hip distance apart, keeping a bend in the knees for this first downward dog. Inner elbows pointing in towards each other, and the sitting bones are reaching up towards the ceiling. As you gently push into the hands, the belly moves towards the thighs, and you'll find a little bit more length in the back. And then we've got to bring our right foot forward. So if you've got space behind you, you can lift the right leg and swing it through gently, or you can come to your knees and step it through. So maybe you're reaching up with the right leg and gently swinging it through, and we're coming back into that runner's lunge position. And then from here, we're going to power through the right foot to bring the left to meet it. We're back into Uttanasana, our forward fold. Softness in the knees. To come up, bend into the knees a little bit more. It'll give you a bit more power through the feet. We're going to breathe in, reach up to the sky, and breathing out to bring the arms back down to the sides of the body. Lovely. And then we'll go over to the other side. So this time it'll be the left leg stepping back. And as you do that, just notice the difference between the two sides. So you might find that one side is very different to the other, and that's normal. So we need to bring our feet to hip distance apart, making sure they're parallel, maybe measuring in between the feet if you need to. Have a softness in the knees. Shoulders back and down. Breathing in, reaching up through the fingertips. Breathing out, folding forwards. Back into our Uttanasana pose. Breathing in, we're coming up into our flat back. And then breathing out to fall forwards. We're going to breathe in to step the left foot back, making sure the right knee is above the right ankle, and from here, coming to standing. Hands on the hips, just checking your hips feel level. And the next inhalation, we're going to bring the arms up. Keeping the gaze forwards today, gentler on the neck. And then gently bring the hands back down to the hips. This is where we come down to our twist. So we're going to place our left hand parallel with our right foot, making sure that right knee is gently still over the right ankle and reaching up with the right hand and the palm is facing away. From here, coming back into that almost runner's lunge position, we're stepping back into our plank. So if you feel you want to come into full plank, please do so. Otherwise, we're coming onto the knees. Inner elbows are pointing in towards each other. The hands are spread. From here, gently coming through onto the chest and into our Sphinx pose. So the elbows are under the shoulders, directly under the shoulders. Draw the shoulder blades down away from the ears. Strong, broad chest. So the breath has got lots of space to expand the rib cage. On the next exhalation, slowly coming back down, bring the hands to the chest, tucking the toes. We're coming into another downward facing dog. So making sure the hands are shoulder width apart, shoulders are away from ears. A little bit of a bend in the knees. The heels are reaching towards the floor. They may never reach the floor, so remember that. It depends on our anatomy. Some heels are never going to reach the floor. So it depends on how our skeleton is built. Pushing into the hands, stretching through the back. Belly moving towards the thighs and knees. From here, we're going to bring our left foot forward. So remember, you can drop to the knees and step the left foot forward. If you've got space and it's safe to do so, lifting the left leg up and swinging it through. From here, powering into the left foot to bring the right to meet the left. And we're back into our forward fold. So take a moment there, just check the weight distribution over your feet. It's a strong stretch for the hamstrings, so know that you can bend into the knees a little bit more if you need to. We want the weight of our body to be even over both feet, the head and the neck to be relaxed. From here, we're going to power through the feet, bend into the knees, reaching up as we inhale and exhaling the hands back down to the sides of the body. So a really simple sequence or version of a Chandra Namaskar, a moon salutation. We'll come back to standing in our mountain pose, come back to concentrating on the breath. So you can bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart center. or you can have both hands on the belly. If you do bring one to either hand and the tummy and the belly, just have a little play. You might find that one hand feels more comfortable or more at home in one part of the body. Standing tall, still having a softness in the knees. So trying not to lock the knees, gentle softness there. Length in the neck and maybe closing down the eyes. Bringing your concentration back to the breath, allowing your heart rate to slow down. Just take a moment to notice how you feel. After just 10 minutes of movement. Out. And making sure you're taking a full, beautiful breath. Gently bringing the hands together at heart center in Anjali Mudra. So joining both halves of the body together here. You may feel some warmth through your hands, that energy you've created through the movement. And then I'm going to take my hands up to my forehead to remind us all to have kind words, and back down to my heart center to remind us all to have kind actions. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me again today. I'm Caroline. I hopefully see you again every day, or Monday to Friday. And if you enjoyed this class, please do tick the like, thumbs up, or subscribe. There's a little button you can click on the bottom right hand corner of this video, and you'll get notifications of other classes, other sequences, some short, some longer, that come live onto my YouTube just anytime as well. Otherwise, it's bye from me. See you again soon.